Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. So, these sweet potatoes are screaming at me from the ground and they desperately need to be harvested. But one of the issues is I don't have a good plan when it comes to storage. So, today, Josh and I are going to be focused on building a potato storage cabinet so we can house all of our sweet potatoes. Storage is always an issue for us. The last several years, we've grown sweet potatoes. Storage has been a major problem. We tried storing them in 5-gallon buckets and they rotted. So, we're going to try and find out how to build something where they can hang out in the garage, but also have like really good ventilation, but also be protected from like rodents. So, let's go ahead and get into that. We started by ripping down some wood we already had on hand into strips and then cutting it to the desired length that we needed it. Now this cabinet was going to be 4 feet tall, 2 feet wide, and 20 inches deep. Here's our wood and the measurements of this wood. You guys ate pudding without me? Now, the great thing about this project is we did not have to go purchase any wood to build these cabinets. We had all of this wood on hand in our wood shed already, so we didn't have to purchase any of the lumber for this project. We trimmed all of these pieces that you see us working with from like 2x6s and things of that nature, and all of these strips are basically about 1 inch by 1.5 inch pieces because we didn't want full-on 1x1s. We want them a little bit bigger because, as you can see here, they weren't quite rigid on their own. Do you just need one or both?
We'll do one at a time.
Okay. So we decided to use this 1/4 inch OSB that we already had on hand for the top, the sides, the bottom, and the back of this cabinet. And the dimensions for that, the top and bottom were 22 by 22 inches, and the height for the sides and the back was 45 inches, and the width of that was 17 inches. Then all we had to do was just secure it to the cabinet, and we did just use the air compressor and attach it using brads because, like I said, the frame of this was built out of 1 by 1.5 inch pieces, and so screws were a little bit too long for this, so it was just easier to brad nail them on there. So the cabinet is on 3-inch legs. We didn't want to go too tall because we didn't want a big boxy cabinet on super skinny legs, so we just kind of made them short. And then we spaced our shelves 6 inches apart because we felt like that was a good height for storing sweet potatoes. But we left the bottom shelf on the very bottom, we left it a 16-inch space. And we did that so then that way down the road, if we grow a lot of pumpkins or we have something large that we want to store, we can put it on the bottom shelf and we have plenty of room to do so. At this point, Josh had left to go get screws so we could build our shelves, and I bradded the actual OSB to our brackets that would hold our shelves so it would give it some rigidity. And then we started building our shelves when he got back. We built these shelves out of the same wood we used to frame the cabinet out with the 1 by 1.5 inch pieces of wood, and we made these shelves 20.5 inches wide, 20 inches deep, and we put in an 18-inch bracing in the middle, so when we cover these with hardware cloth, with potatoes sitting on that hardware cloth, it won't weigh it down and cause the middle to bend. They slide in and out of their tracks really well, and you'll also notice we added some pieces of wood between the track and the shelf, and the reason we did that is so when it leans forward like this, the wood will actually catch the shelf and prevent it from falling over and everything spilling out. We built a very quick door with a brace and a makeshift wooden latch. Next, all we had to do was wire it. I wasn't sure if I would have enough hardware cloth to do this entire thing, so I went ahead and did the fronts first, so that way we knew for a fact that they were rodent-proof and nothing could get into the cabinets. Okay, so a little side note is that this cabinet, when you push the door in, this just was really tight to close, but after I put the wire on, you can see it hits the wire. So that's not going to work. We're gonna have to figure something else out with that. Josh said maybe we should like take the saw and like notch the back out and then put it up. So we might do that. And then this one doesn't have that problem. It works right over the wire, but just as a precaution, we might go ahead and just do it. Cause I mean, it's not great that it smacks into the wire because over time it could break the wire. So that's why I put all these staples in here because I wanted to make sure that it didn't, mess anything up, but I should have enough wire to do hardware cloth. I should have enough hardware cloth left from this was left over from the chicken coop, from the chicken run. So we should have enough to do 8 shelves, 4 in this one and then 4 in the other kind of cabinet. So the one thing we did not film, and I'll do this side because it doesn't have anything on top of it, is Josh put a grid on top of this. I don't know, can you see that? Okay, well, we're gonna go with it. So he put a grid on here, and you can see he's drilled holes, and those are exhaust holes, so heat rises and all that jazz, so that should help it kind of get out, and they're small enough that there shouldn't be any little doodads crawling down in there, so we'll see how that works. Now, we actually had the perfect amount of wire to do all of these shelves, and I just finished with just the perfect amount of hardware cloth. So it was literally meant to be for this project. I was actually really happy with how it turned out, and it was a little difficult doing this with one person. Something I would recommend is if you're wiring shelves, you might want to do it with 2 people. Here are the cabinets complete. I must say I'm very happy with them. Between the 2 of them, they are currently housing about 163 pounds of sweet potatoes, and what makes this deal even sweeter is the fact that each cabinet only cost us $10 a piece to build, and that's only because of screws and hinges. So most of the potatoes have fit in the racks. The leftover I just stuck in these baskets up here. These are all like the really small ones, which those can just be pan roasted, like kind of like with like kielbasa or something, I don't know. And then I did have to take the pumpkins out because there wasn't enough space. And then here's the rest of the potatoes. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me today. I really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, please let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. Feel free to click that red subscribe button if you want to stick around. And to never miss an upload, all you gotta do is click that bell icon. Lastly, all of my socials as well as Joshua's socials will be linked in the description box down below. So if you want to head on over there and give us a follow, you absolutely can. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.